We're going to continue in this series on the Ten Commandments this morning. We're going through all 10 throughout the summer. But before we get there, we're going to dive into this pretty heavily. But before we do, I want to tell you a little bit about what your church is doing in Pine Bluff. Some of y'all already know about our Home Again Pine Bluff program, where we take these old dilapidated houses and we tear them down to the studs and we rebuild them. This is what they look like when we get them. And then we just gut the whole thing and we tear them down to the studs and then we rebuild them as brand new houses. And then we make them available to families who want an opportunity to begin building generational wealth. Wealth they never would have thought possible because they've made some mistakes. They grew up in poverty. They got into debt, whatever the reason is. So if you are married, if you have a job and you take classes in financial education, home ownership, parenting, marriage, we will then, and we'll rent it to you for about 2 years while you're going through this process. After that, we'll sell these houses to you for half of their appraised value. So you can go from poverty to equity in just a couple of years. Yeah, it's a pretty good deal. We've a pretty great kickstart on building a new future. And to date, we've finished 12 of these houses. We have about 3 more under construction. And I think it's important to note that none of us take a salary to do this. It's like George Bailey's building and loan program where you sell this house and the money goes into the next house and goes to the next house. And so we did all that, but we did something crazy late last year. We began building our own neighborhood, okay? And so these are houses that we started to build from the ground up. From the ground up. This is really crazy. And so these are the first 3 of what may become 25 to 30 brand new houses in this area. And the reason we're building them is we want to attract certified school teachers and police officers to Pine Bluff. And so if you're a certified school teacher or a first responder, we'll give you a $20,000 grant right off the bat to get you started on building some generational wealth, right? But you got to come to the Bluff and work and serve in the community, and you can get started by building your future right here. Now, for those of you who are a little concerned about Pine Bluff, don't believe the narrative, okay? Don't believe the narrative that you're being sold about my city. I believe the narrative, but the perception is not the reality. We do have some issues in the Bluff, but y'all, it's been more than 500 days since we've had a juvenile shooting in Pine Bluff. I mean, God is doing something amazing in the Delta, and we would love for you to be part of the story that he's rewriting down there. And we can't thank you guys enough for everything that New Life Church does to help us bring freedom to the Delta. All right? All right, well, let's dive into the 10 Commandments, okay? I know you guys saw the movie, so we don't need to spend too much time on this, but let me show you the 10 Commandments right off the bat. Here they are right there. You can't have any other gods but God. Don't make any idols to the sun or the stars or the birds or the hogs. Gotcha. All right. Don't use the Lord's name in vain. Go to church. Honor your mom and dad. Don't kill anybody. Don't cheat on anybody. Don't steal. Don't lie. And the last one, thou shalt not covet. I got to be honest with you. I always skip over that last one. Right? The last one, I mean, I've kind of overlooked it. I mean, don't steal, don't lie, don't cheat, don't covet. I don't even really know what that meant, and so I just kind of skipped past it. It's almost like God needed one more to fill out the list, you know, because the 9 commandments doesn't have the same kind of ring as the 10 commandments, right? But let me tell you this. Let's put this verse back up there. This is what it says. You shall not covet your neighbor's house. You shall not covet your neighbor's wife. You shall not covet your neighbor's male or female servants or his ox or his donkey or anything that belongs to your neighbor. This is not just filler material, okay? Thou shalt not covet is the exclamation point on the 10 Commandments. It's like the mic drop moment of the 10. Seriously, listen to this. Because if we don't get this one right, if we don't get a handle on this coveting thing, it becomes the gateway to breaking all of the other ones. I mean, if you covet your neighbor's stuff, you're going to steal it. If you covet your neighbor's wife, you're going to commit adultery. If you're confronted with your covetousness, you're just going to lie about it. If you covet what you don't have, and it then becomes an idol, and then you're going to take matters into your own hands, which makes you your own God. And if your jealousy continues to go unchecked, you're going to kill for it. I mean, think Cain and Abel, David and Bathsheba, any episode of Dateline, right? It's all right there. This covetousness thing is a big deal. But what exactly does it mean? Okay, here's what the dictionary says. It says an excessive or often envious desire for something that belongs to somebody else. And what that really means is, I want what you got. I want more of what I got. And I'm willing to do anything to get it. Now, if you're like me, you probably don't think you're covetous. But I want to tell you, this covetous thing it'll sneak up on you. It's like those little weeds in your flower garden, you know. If you don't get them when they're young and they're tender, man, those things will just take over the whole bed. So let's do a quick test, okay, to see if there are any fresh weeds in this house. Weeds, not, well, you get it. Here's test number 1. Are you happy when good things happen to other people? Or are you upset that it didn't happen to you? Like someone gets a promotion, someone gets married, someone gets a new car, someone wins another national title. The Bible tells us to rejoice with those who rejoice. And if we're having trouble being happy for other people, we might have a weed. Number 2, are you more concerned with keeping up or helping out? So when you see somebody at the gas station or the ballpark, or maybe you're even sitting down to lunch with them, do you pay more attention to what's going on with them, or are you checking out their nails? Are you checking out, yeah, guilty. Are you checking out their vehicle? Are you checking out who they're wearing, right? See, the Bible tells us it's more blessed to give than to receive, and if we find ourselves more concerned with keeping up with other people rather than how God can use our stuff to help other people, we might have an issue. All right, third thing. Does it feel like your prayers are hitting a ceiling? Now there may be more than a few reasons for this, but here's a big one. You don't have because you don't ask. You ask and you do not receive because you're asking wrongly to spend it on your own passions. So if I'm praying to keep up the facade, or I'm praying, asking God to bless me with more rather than how I can use what he's already given me to bless other people, his answer is more often than not going to be no. Now again, this covetous thing it's sneaky. So let me show you a picture from the Bible about how covetousness begins to take root in your life. There's this great illustration from the 7th chapter of Joshua. Now, many of y'all know about the story of Joshua in the Battle of Jericho. You know, Joshua at the Battle of Jericho. Nobody? Okay. So, in this story, the Israelites, walls come tumbling down. But in the story, there's a little snippet about a guy named Achan. Okay? Now, this is a story. So, before the battle took place, Joshua has this moment with God. And God tells Joshua, okay, we're going to win this thing. All right? So to honor God with the victory, Joshua says, hey, we're going to win this thing, but when we destroy this city, y'all can't take nothing. You can't take any of the stuff. All of the stuff belongs to God. So all the gold, all the silver, all the jewels, all that other stuff is going to be used in the temple because God's the one that gave us the victory. But this guy named Achan got greedy. And as a result, many of the Israelites died in a subsequent battle. So when they confront him with this sin, this is what Achan said. Watch this. He said, when I saw among the spoil a beautiful mantle from Shinar, 200 shekels of silver, and a bar of gold weighing 50 shekels in weight, then I coveted them. But I didn't just do that, I took them. But I didn't just do that, then I concealed them in the earth inside my tent with the silver underneath. Now, notice the progression. It started with what he saw, then it got into his heart, then his heart began to influence his actions, which he then tried to cover up because he knew that it was wrong. We see the same thing with David and Bathsheba. He sees her bathing on the roof. He wanted her for himself. He took what he wanted, then he tried to cover up his tracks. I do this all the time, and it never ends well. Y'all, this covetous thing, y'all listen to me. This covetous thing, it keeps us spinning on this wheel that leads us nowhere except anxiety. Because we start to worry, not about what we got, but we start to worry about what we don't have. And then we become ungrateful. We're not thankful for the things that we do have. And then we live our lives unfulfilled. We can never have enough. And that leads to weariness and depression and stinginess and loneliness. Nobody likes to be around a stingy person. Am I talking to anybody out there? Good. Because I thought I was the only one who struggled with these perfect lives I see on social media. So what do we do about it? How do we start to pull up these little weeds? How do we get off this covetous wheel and start making real progress on the pathway that God created us to walk? Well, here are a couple things, all right? Number one, develop an attitude of gratitude. Now, I know this is cliche, but there's a lot of truth in here because a covetous heart is an ungrateful heart. And that's why every day we need to wake up and start exercising this gratitude muscle by singing, "Bless the Lord, O my soul, and forget not all his benefits." You start doing this, and something's going to happen to your life. Because did you know that thankful people have less stress? Anybody stressed out there? Thankful people are happier. Thankful people feel better about themselves. Thankful people don't get sick as often as everybody else. This is why the Bible encourages us to the things that whatever things are true, whatever things are honorable, whatever things are right, if it's pure and lovely, if it's got good repute, if there's anything excellent and worthy of praise, praise. Let your mind dwell on these things. So let me encourage you this week, just to get you started, start writing some blessings down. Start looking around at all the ways that God has blessed you, and you might be surprised at how much better you feel. All right? Another thing we can do is we can determine to give our stuff away. Got really quiet in here. Now, listen, God has no problem with your stuff. God has no problem giving you stuff. The Bible is full of people in the Bible that he's just given more stuff to. Stuff becomes a problem when the stuff has you rather than you having the stuff. And it's a bigger problem than you might think. Let me ask you this. Anybody in this house paying for a storage building? Did you know the self-storage market today is a $64 billion industry with an annual growth rate of 8%? You know what that means? It's considered a recession-proof business. Why? Because even during an economic downturn, we keep buying more stuff. And we need bigger places to put all our stuff. The problem is we keep getting more and more stuff, but we're becoming less and less satisfied. That's because the greedy set an ambush for themselves. Covetousness is a trap, y'all. It's what the entity wants us to do. Anybody else see Mission Impossible? It's a great movie. Go see it. All right. Satan wants us focused on ourselves rather than God to provide our satisfaction. So consider this. If getting more stuff isn't doing the trick, maybe I need to do the opposite of what the entity wants and start relying less upon me to meet my needs and begin to trust God to help me. Okay? That's the first two. All right, here's the big one. We have to begin to discover what truly satisfies. I ain't talking about Snickers, although that really helps. Okay? The reason I want what you got is because I think it will bring me satisfaction. Because it appears that it's bringing you satisfaction, so if I get what you got, maybe it'll bring me satisfaction, but it won't. And the reason is that satisfaction comes with an expectation. It's like when you go to a restaurant and you order food at the restaurant, that food comes with a price tag. The restaurant has an expectation that you're going to pay the bill. And when you do pay the bill is satisfied. The key to satisfaction and the cure to covetousness is discovering and pursuing the divine expectation God has for your life. I mean, I remember watching this interview. It's been a long time ago. It was a 60 Minutes interview with a guy named Tom Brady. Y'all ever heard Tom Brady? All right. So this was right after Tom Brady had won the third of 7 Super Bowls, right? Now, Tom Brady, okay. Dude is rich. He's famous. He's handsome. He's a great athlete. And he doesn't do too bad with the chicks either, okay? Tom Brady is living the life that most of us are chasing because apparently his life is satisfied. I want that life. I would kill for that life. But listen to what Tom Brady said after winning his third Super Bowl. He says, why do I have 3 Super Bowl rings and I still think there's something else out there for me? I mean, I've reached my goal, my life, and I think, God, there's got to be more to life than this. Yo, fame, money, power, women, none of that did the trick. But watch this. Long before Tom Brady became Tom Brady, King Solomon was Tom Brady. I mean, King Solomon, this brother had every carnal desire satisfied in abundance. And you know what he wrote nearly 3,000 years ago? He said, I've seen all the works which have been done under the sun, and behold, it's just vanity. It's just striving after wind. I can't catch it. No matter what I do, no matter what I have, even if I take it from you, it's not going to be enough. So what's the solution? Well, believe it or not, I learned this from my duck dog. Because if God can speak to Balaam through a donkey, he can use a duck dog. See, my dog, look at this dog right here. My dog is a yellow lab, okay? Look how cute he is, right? Did you know that God created these yellow labs, these labs? They got webbed feet. Did y'all know that? They got webbed feet. They were created to swim. God made his body to secrete this oil that keeps him warm. The water just runs right off him, even in the coldest of conditions. God made the hair on that dog hollow so he could be more buoyant. In other words, my dog was created and bred to retrieve birds. Now the thing about it is, I can take that dog and I can put him in my backyard, and he can chase butterflies and tennis balls and frisbees his entire life, and he'd live a pretty good life. But he would never be satisfied. He would never be fulfilled. But when I take that dog and I put that vest on him, right? And I take him out into the duck woods, and those shots ring out, and we miss most of them, but some of the birds come falling down. There's something inside that dog that comes alive. And at that moment, that dog ceases to be a pet, and he becomes a Labrador retriever. He becomes what he was created to be, and that brings satisfaction. And he's not that enamored with tennis balls after that. Listen, the more that I'm in my word, the more that I develop my prayer life, the more I surround myself with godly community, the closer I get to my Creator, and the clearer his divine expectation for my life becomes. So the more I pursue him, the less I am looking to anyone or anything else to bring me satisfaction. Y'all follow me? Good. Because it's important for everybody in this room to understand. God did not create you by accident. The conception may have been an accident, but the creation was not. You are here because God made you. He wove you together in your mother's womb. He loves you, and he created you with a divine expectation for your life. The Bible says he saw me before I was even born. Every single day of my life was recorded in his book. He's writing a story for your life. Sometimes we get in a habit of writing a few extra chapters that weren't in the original manuscript, but God's got this amazing ability to rewrite that story and get us back on track, because every moment was laid out before a single day had passed. He set before us a race that only we can run. He knows the plans that he has for you and for me, and these are plans for good. They're plans for purpose. They're not plans for disaster. These are plans to give you a future, a direction, and a hope. There is a divine expectation for each and every person in this room. This is why Jesus said, I am the way. I am the life. I am the truth. You know what that means? That means you can be alive, but you're not really living unless you're filled with his truth, unless you're filled with his life. You can create your own truth, but your own truth is not going to satisfy you because there's only one truth. And you can try and chart your own course through life. And you know what? You might be moderately successful, but it's never going to satisfy. You'll always be looking for something else, because Jesus didn't say he will point you to the way. He said, I am the way. So despite what the enemy tells you, we don't have the ability or the tools or the money to discover eternal soul satisfaction. Not even if we obey every single one of these laws. Those are good laws. Those are good rules. Those are eternal, okay? And if you obey these things, they will help you live a productive life. But they will never bring you peace and satisfaction. Only Jesus. There is no other way to be satisfied with life until you allow the God who is in you to begin operating through you so he can impact the world around you. Amen? That's the cure for covetousness. Get closer to Jesus. Discover that divine expectation and begin to walk it out. And then you just don't really care about all that other stuff. I just want more of what you have for me, Jesus.
Thanks for being here today.